Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Federica. I'm part of your Weuni by Doc City team, and it's a great pleasure for me to have you here connected. And I'd like to give a warm welcome to our panelists. Today, we are connected with EDHEC Business School. And I have to say that it's a great pleasure for me to see that we have 3 alumni on board and the head of international recruitment at EDHEC. So warm welcome to Mark, to Simona, to Lorenzo, to Siddhant. Today we're going to give you a presentation, but it's not really about giving you a presentation about EDHEC, the courses, and how these courses can actually take you, these master courses can actually take you, but it's really about trying to give you a feeling of what it's like to study at EDHEC, and we really want to make these as interactive as possible. So drop all the questions that you have in here for your alumni. We have the pleasure to have in here Simona, Lorenzo, Siddhant. They all studied a master's in management at EDHEC, different specialization, different focus. But really the idea for us is to give you an overview, and they're here to answer all the questions. So about the life, what it's like to study, what's the benefit. They're also going to talk about the current role. So really don't be shy and ask all of your questions. You can see that more students are joining. I just wanted to give maybe a little bit more of time. Unfortunately, we're not able to see all of your faces. So drop us a message into the chat, into the Q&A, and let us know where you're connecting from. So, and of course, please also use later on the chat, the Q&A to ask all of your questions. Norway, hi and welcome to this live webinar. It's a pleasure to have you here. And again, keep using the chat Q&A to ask all the questions that you might have. And for whoever is looking forward to receiving a certificate of attendance, we're going to share with you the link later to download it. Hi from India, and welcome. Is an incoming Master in Management student. That's great, and I'm sure that more will join us. And I guess we're actually ready to start. So I'd like to share my screen because, as mentioned, it won't be exactly a presentation, but we do have some visual support. So let me share it with you. Hope that everybody could see it. Alumni. So today we're going to talk about alumni, how EDHEC opened doors to top careers. And we have here Mark, is the head of international recruitment at EDHEC, and 3 alumni ready to share their experience. Mark, I leave the floor, but few words on the agenda. Few words about EDHEC. So Mark is going to give us a very brief overview. We wanted to keep this part short and sweet so we can focus on the start of our webinar today with our 3 alumni, Simona, Lorenzo, and Siddhant. Then it will be their turn. They're going to give us a brief overview, what they studied, why they choose EDHEC, and what was their journey. Then we really want to hear your questions. So drop them into the chat, drop them into the Q&A, and we will be happy to answer them. And then, of course, some of you might be eager to find out more about admission requirement and scholarships. Then Mark is going to give us a brief overview. And then why not, because you connected and we also wanted to give you some tips and advice. They're going to be a final part where we're going to share them with you. I guess we're ready to start. Mark, I leave you the floor and welcome everybody to this live webinar in partnership with the EDHEC Business School.
Yes, thank you, Federica, and welcome again, everyone. As Federica said, we're going to keep this presentation bit extremely short because the main purpose of today is for you to hear from our alumni and ask them questions. So there's not too much on our programs. I just wanted to welcome you and really tell you a little bit about EDHEC, which I'm sure you already know. We are a top-ranked European business school, one of the best in France. Some of our rankings that you can see on the screen reflect that. But you know what? it's all very good having these great rankings, but what does that mean to you and your experience? I think the first thing that it demonstrates is that we have excellent faculty and teaching. And we also have excellent students. So that means that when you come to us, you can be assured of learning from the best and also amongst the best. So it means that you will have peers who challenge you. Will have peers that share similar ambitions to you. If you are doing group work, you will have people who perform. And it also means that then when you graduate from us, you're part of an alumni network who are going out there into the working world in some great careers and are a fantastic network to support you then throughout the rest of your career. You can see that we're very highly ranked for the Masters in Management, but also for finance, which is one of our specialities. And we have a lot of support from the Careers Service and from our Alumni Network to help you secure those careers that you might be looking for after your Masters. So we have a very well-resourced Careers Service and one that is specialized in finance as well. Thank you. Next slide, please, Federica. And where are you if you don't already know? So we have 3 campuses in France. Lille and Nice are where the majority of our students study. And to generalize a little bit, Lille is where our management and our marketing students study, and Nice would be where our finance and our data students study, and is also where I'm based, hence the lovely, beautiful Mediterranean Sea behind me. Not to make everyone who isn't here or isn't here anymore too jealous, it did look like that today. So we hope you can join us, but I'm going to hand over to the alumni now, and then I'm happy to talk to you a little bit more about admissions and the process later on in this session. And you can find a lot more about our programs online or reach out to the recruitment team. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much for this lovely introduction. And questions about these, definitely feel free to drop them into the chat. Speakers, so we mentioned to you that we are going to have 3 of the alumni, Simona, Lorenzo, and Siddhant. And let me leave the floor to our first speaker, Simona. She's going to, we actually wanted to give you a very brief overview, what is her academic experience, professional experience, but I leave the floor to her so she can tell us more. And she's really eager to hear all of your questions, so don't be shy and ask all the questions that you might have. Simona, great pleasure for me to have you here. Leave you the floor.
Thank you, Federica. The pleasure is all mine. So, hi everyone. My name is Simona. I originally come from Italy, hence where I attended my bachelor program in international economics and management at Bocconi. And after that, I thought that I wanted to go abroad for my master's and also learn a new culture and a new language. And I started to look for available masters in finance because I found out that that's the specialization I wanted to do. And I found the program at EDHEC. And that really struck with me because of the structure of the program, because I chose the MIM in finance, which is a 3-year program, and that in my eyes gave me the flexibility to learn about finance in general in the first year and then specialize in a specific field of finance, also thanks to the professional experience that I could have throughout the gap year. So that's why I chose EDHEC, because of the flexibility it gave and also the very specialized track of the second year. And on top of that, the time to do internships. And during my, let's say, immersion year, I had a chance to do 3 internships, and one of them converted into my current full-time role as a private equity analyst in a German fund. I'll hand it over to Lorenzo, and I'm here to answer all of your questions, so feel free just to drop them in the chat.
Many thanks, Simona. Lorenzo, leave you the floor.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to keep it short, which is not one of my talents, to be as fast as possible, because that way we can have more time for the questions after. So I am, as Simona, Italian. So I come from Italy and study at the University of Bologna for my bachelor's degree in economics and finance. And after that, which was, by the way, a quite theoretical kind of degree. So what I wanted to do after that was to have some more experience and some more practical, some more understanding of the practical world of finance, which was the field where I wanted to specialize. And I wanted to do that in France because I believed, and I still believe, that is a country where, regarding to finance, but I think also for business, there are many opportunities, especially if you know French, but not only if you know French, but especially if you know French, which is what was my case. So I applied to EDHEC, which at the time, and still is, thankfully, is one of the best master, as said, in finance in France. And I also chose it because of the way the program is built. As Simona said, the opportunity to have 1 year fully focused on acquiring some experience for someone like me who never had any sort of experience before was something very interesting. So I exploited this opportunity. I had 2 interesting internships at one at the European Investment Bank and one at Societe Generale. And after that, of course, I started studying again for my specialization in corporate finance. And during this specialization, thanks to one of the events organized with the school, competition with PwC, I managed to have access to the graduate program in deals of the company. So that was strictly related. I try to be as short as possible, but yes, we will further talk later, I think.
Many thanks, Lorenzo. And then last but not least, I'd like to leave the floor to Siddharth so he can share his experience with us.
Thank you so much, Federica. So I'm going to be the only one in the panel that is not from Italy, but I come from another country that also has really good food, which is India. So I'm from the south of India, a city called Bangalore. And I did my undergraduate in economics in Mumbai, which you could call the Bollywood capital of the country. And I would like to move a bit closer to why I chose France and then go a bit closer to why EDHEC. So one of the reasons why I chose France was actually when I was around 15 years old, I received an opportunity to do an exchange for 2 weeks in a really small town that is called Angers in France. And this experience kind of changed my entire course of life because it made me fall in love with the country, the lifestyle, the way the people are, the food, the culture, everything. So it kind of was sure to me that France would be something that will come by in my future as well. So right after I finished my undergraduate, I was deciding of actually looking at where could I do my master's. So France was definitely the geographical location, but I was looking at top business schools where I could really specialize in my professional goals, which was finance. And the reason why I chose EDHEC was because their MIM with the finance specialization is one of the best in the country. And I did also, I would say, go a bit closer to look into LinkedIn at all, like at the top finance directors and CFOs. And a lot of them were coming from EDHEC. So that was kind of, I would say that was kind of the check box that made me feel that this could probably be the place for me. And that's why I applied and I got the opportunity to be in this wonderful school. And to be honest, now if I could, so I did speak a bit about before entering, but when I joined the university, I think it was exactly what I was looking for. The courses were extremely structured. The MIM course made a lot of sense to me because you spend your first year like taking so many different information from different métiers or skills. So you also learn HR, you learn marketing, you learn sales, you learn everything about business. And then you get this chance to be in a gap year, just as Lorenzo stated, which I think is the most important thing that the university provides you when you don't come from the country. Because I think the only way you can actually understand how the country's job market works is to really put yourself in there. And this is where like the real learning happened for me. uh, so my first opportunity was with Danone, which is the yogurt company, and it was just amazing. So the 6 months went really fast, really quick, and I learned a lot. And this got me to my second position, which was with Garnier at L'Oreal. And this internship went really well as well. And I realized that luxury would probably be the industry that I would like to get into. And things led to another. When I finished my M2, I actually got like a full-time position with L'Oreal, and I'm currently working as a financial controller for the luxury division of the group. So I'm super excited to hear all your questions and would love to answer all of them.
Amazing. So thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen. So just actually we can see all of us, and we are ready to take some of the questions. So don't be shy, ask question, because that's why we're here. So first question, I guess I'm just gonna say they might be for Simona, but also maybe Lorenzo Sidan can help us answering. Would you say, because you have the career that you have at the moment thanks to EDHEC? So basically, you mentioned Simona, you mentioned Bocconi, you mentioned EDHEC. So how important do you think it was the influence of studying at such a renowned business school in your current role and in your career progression?
Yeah, for sure. So I feel that as of today, having a strong academic background in one of the top ranked school is really important to land a job, especially in investment banking or private equity. So for sure, these school names played a favorable role in, getting the opportunity also to do interviews to get to the internship, and then at that point it's up to you to demonstrate that you're fit for the role. So of course I feel the name matters a lot when screening the CVs, but then it's you on the job, and so you have to make it worth it.
Thank you so much. Another question that we receive is actually how the program prepare you from the job market. So maybe Siddhant can help us answer this. So basically, how you feel that the specialization or in general is actually helped you to secure a job, or just to be like a strong candidate.
Maybe one of the things that I could actually think of, which is like I would say a real life example, was when I was doing my M2 or the MSc. We had a course that was about strategic management, where we really learned a lot about rolling forecasts and how to ensure that you're making sure that the business of whichever enterprise you are in works in the right way, and also ways in which, like, how do you ensure you don't put yourself in a place of risk. And to be honest, this is a big part of my job at the moment. So I'm literally using the same concepts that I learned in that course right now, and I also like bring about those kind of concepts to my role now that L'Oreal does not do yet, so that's super cool. So for sure, there's a lot of learning from that. And besides that, I think another thing which I would say is more on the soft skill part is when you don't come from, like, when you're not in France, but you come to EDHEC, you really have a chance to also get into this international exposure that allows you to be a bit more stronger in your communication with different people around the world. So this helped me a lot as well.
Many thanks. Lorenzo, I don't know if there is anything else that you wanted to add on this. So basically how the program prepare you for the job market. And there is also a specific question. So if you believe that the job you currently at was actually thanks to EDHEC.
So to the second question, which is the fastest, I think. Yes, because as I said, as I mentioned before, I received like this opportunity after a competition in which I participated, in which I was representing EDHEC Business School, and so then I don't think this is an exception, because I think there are also other people that received similar opportunities. So yes, it helped me a lot in the specific case. And as far as the knowledge and the skills that I've acquired, yes, of course, I will not come to the art skill, go to the art skill, because I think Siddharth already mentioned, and I can confirm also for the masters in finance, we received enough knowledge that we can use for our interviews. But also I want to mention something else. Something that universities, like the master you will choose, should give you is not only the knowledge, like the art skills to pass your interviews, but it's also some network of people that can help you to understand which are the opportunities you can have, which are the best way to exploit these opportunities. So in general, I would say these two components were very strong at my 3 years at EDHEC.
Many thanks. Siddharth, we received a couple of questions about language requirements. So they're asking, is it possible to get a job? In this case, they're asking finance in France without speaking French. And more in general, they ask how is it important to learn French to progress in your career? I guess if you want to stay, I guess, in a French-speaking country.
No, for sure. Like I would say that this is the million-dollar question that we're always asking when we're making this decision, and so did I. The best way to answer it would be, okay, yes, the language is extremely important, but the right way to look at it is, if you speak the language, it opens a lot more doors. If you don't, of course, you don't get to open those doors, but you do have opportunities as well. For example, the company that I'm working in, I do work with a lot of people that don't speak French, and we do speak in English as well. So there are a lot of places where you probably would not need the language, but if you speak the language, you will definitely have a higher success rate or more opportunities to take. So I think it is important to know the language, but if it's really a deal breaker for you, there are opportunities as well on the side.
Thank you. Simona, you mentioned during your presentation about a gap year. So they're asking what it is exactly, a gap year. And they also asking, maybe if you can think about something, if there is some difference that you see between studying business in Italy and in France, of course, related to what was your experience, or maybe what is the perks of studying business in France at EDHEC?
Yes, for sure. So the gap year is part of the MIM program and is in between the first and the second year of studies. So basically you finish your first year, let's say around May-ish, and then you have almost 15 months that you can dedicate to work until September of like the next year when you begin your studies in the second, like the specialization year. So during this time, you can either do internships or do internships combined with an exchange, which is what I did. So I did 3 internships, 2 were shorter and then 1 was longer. And then I also went on exchange to Spain. So this gave me the chance to live in 4 different countries throughout the gap year, and at the same time to really understand where I wanted to work. So what I really liked and I felt motivated with. And I would say each experience helped me to better shape the career I wanted to tackle. And if I have to make a comparison in between Italy and France, well, I will make it in between, let's say, Italy and EDHEC. So in Italy, as far as I know, there's no structured program with the gap year. So basically you have like 2 years of masters and that's it. Whereas EDHEC gives you the chance to engage with employers, have internships, learn what you want to learn in the field, and then go back and specialize in that specific part of finance or management as it is. So I feel that when you have to start a full-time job, you're more prepared, not only from a technical point of view, but also you already know what you're looking for. And this makes it easier also for you to start your career with the, let's say, with a good job that you like and you enjoy.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Simona. I hope these answer, but in case there are any other question on the gap year or wherever, keep writing them. Mention exchange programs. I think also, Lorenzo, if I'm not mistaken, you were an exchange student. So they're asking if going on an exchange during the degree at EDHEC, is it positive when applying to jobs? So if he has like a weight somehow when you actually put an application through, or you felt it was your case?
So indeed, it is possible. We have three people here, and two of them, I think, Siddharth didn't, but at least two of them did an exchange. So it's like if you are interested in this opportunity, it's something that's on the table. So first, my first advice is, of course, the opportunities are good, but the main thing you should be interested in, of course, should be EDHEC Business School before choosing, not the exchange. After, once you are here, you will have the opportunity to have, as Simona said, an exchange during your gap year, which is also my case. I attended the exchange program in Stanford Business School. So it was something indeed very important for my to develop my not only my person as a employee, but also me on a higher ground, let's say. Uh, and so there are many opportunities during the gap year. That doesn't compromise, of course, the main goal of the gap year, which is for you to acquire experience. We did these exchanges. We also have a lot of experience in that year, so the two things can go together. On the other hand, if you really want to do an exchange and to have your gap year, there's also the opportunity to go to attend an exchange during your last year at EDHEC, the specialization year. And I'm not informed about the current opportunities in that aspect, but also in your last year, you can technically attend an exchange. So there are many opportunities concerning exchanges.
Many thanks. Alumni Network. I wanted to ask Siddharth, we received a question on how valuable was the Alumni Network during and after your studies, and if you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, for sure. And I'm glad that somebody asked that question, because I think it's one of the strengths of the university. Like I would say that the Alumni Network is extremely large and it's global as well. Like right now, there's a high chance that there could be an alumni meet happening in Japan. I don't know, it's possible because there are alumni meets that are taking place in other parts of the world as well. There are meetups that are taking place often, and there are also company alumni meetups. So, for example, 2 weeks ago, I actually did a meetup with all the edX students that are at L'Oreal. So we made a kind of team of everyone so that we can also support each other within the company that we are in. So this is how far the alumni network is going, where it's really like having this positive effect where everyone can keep finding out ways in which you can make it bigger and bigger. And I think the university does focus a lot on this as well. Because I did meet the alumni team, the one that's focusing on this, and they were sharing that they have a lot of ambitions to keep making it better, to improve it, to get more people onboarded, and also, I think the community is really big, but also you're seeing a lot of successful people, like in France. that are a part of EDHEC that are really happy to guide you. So you can actually just go on LinkedIn as well and contact somebody that is probably a CFO of a company, and they would be happy to have a chat with you. So it is an open network. It is going to be there for your entire life because you are going to be from EDHEC like from the day that you join. So I think it's really strong, and it's a big plus point that I use currently as well. I don't know if that answers the question.
I guess it does, and actually it's great to hear. And if in case you have more questions about alumni, definitely. Also, Mark, I also asked question for the students, but in case you want to add on anything, I mean, I think they're doing a great job sharing their experience, but feel free. Simona, a question from Ara is regarding academic time at the EDHEC. What aspect of EDHEC curriculum or extra curriculum offerings proved most valuable for your first role? And if there is some sort of career service that helps you to land on an internship?
Let me start with the career service. EDHEC has a really strong career service. They organize also events quite often, but also actual mock assessment centers to get a feeling on how interviews will be like. So I think that's very helpful. There's also a web page called Job Teaser where you can find opportunities directly from employers, and they also do some speed datings. So you upload your CV and then you connect with employers and vice versa. So I think that's really helpful. And to land my first internship, I think I landed right after the first semester of my studies. So the models that helped me the most, well, this internship was in public equities and bonds in a sustainable investment management. So definitely from climate science to climate finance, but also financial analysis and valuation, which included lots of accounting. So I would say both from purely like technical questions, but also this course leaning more towards sustainability. We had a chance to discuss very hot topics.
Great, thank you, Simona. Lorenzo, Italian students I ask, I guess, because the question is, why you choose France instead of Italy, in your personal opinion? What helps you make the choice?
So we are working on thin ice here because Simona is working in Italy, so everything I say we can be used against me. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But so basically, I believed, and I still believe that as far as finance is concerned, of course, in Italy there are opportunities. I'm not saying there are no opportunities, but if you study in a French business school and it's not required, of course, but it's a plus, and you that is my case, and you learn French, and in those 3 years, I think, expect if you are Italian, but also if you're not Italian, you can, if you put the effort, you can learn French. If you come, if you end your master and you exploit the opportunities that are given to you, you can have wonderful opportunities in France. I'm not going to say that's not the case of Italy, but for sure, for this aspect, I think in France there is a much more choice, also because of the market, how it's built. So basically, in Italy, okay, we have some business schools. Not a lot, but most of the schools are public. In French, there is a system of business schools in which EDHEC, thankfully, is one of the best ones that is well connected to the market. And so it's something that is very, it's a path that is already there, and that can help you a lot if you put effort, of course, but something that in Italy we don't have. My opinion.
Great. Thanks. And I have to say that you did say something very important. So of course, I mean, now we hear the testimonials of three great students and they all worked hard to get to where they are now. I mean, so that's definitely the start point, but that's then, as you can hear, that gives you a lot of opportunity and support. Siddhant, we have a question regarding what were the most significant experience during your time at EDHEC that have shaped your professional career?
That's a really good question. I would say that this was something I went with as well when I joined the university, was to, like, I would say, network and get close to the other students as well, to get inspired by them and also inspire them. So the question is, to answer your question on some of the best significant experiences that I had, would be the friends that I have now, actually, because I'm still extremely close to everyone from EDHEC that I met. It's actually one of my really close friends' birthday as well, from Italy, from Milano, and I'm going to meet him this evening. And the possibility to have really smart students around you that pull you up, and at the same time you pull them up, it kind of was one of the source that got me where I am. And this, I would say, was one of the significant experiences that I had, that I really appreciate a lot, and could easily say that was one of the reasons of me to be where I am at the moment. Definitely. So it's the students around you.
That's great. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Simona and Lorenzo, you live together, right? Also, so like it is true, like you make friendship. Students Club, Simona, they ask if there is a role that Student Club plays in your professional networking and development.
I joined actually with some, let's say, Italian colleagues and other students. A new student club was founded when we were there, and I became co-head of the Sustainable Finance Division. And I think that helped me to connect also with faculty members, because we interacted a lot. In my case, we wrote a white paper, so we made lots of extra research, and at the same time, we had a chance to interact with professionals in that space that if we weren't part of the student club, we wouldn't have a chance to do so. There are many opportunities, many students club. There's also a student club fair that you can attend to see all your options. So if something interests you, I suggest to join. And if there's something missing, I suggest you become the founder of it.
Great. A question about career counseling. So I don't know if Lorenzo or Siddhant, for example, if EDHEC also supports students. So for example, what could be the best career that you can actually express yourself 100%. So for example, let's say you are in between different fields. Is there some sort of support in this way? I think Siddhant is nodding. Maybe you can answer this, and then Lorenzo, of course, if you want to add on anything, it's great.
Yes, of course. I would say that EDHEC does have a really strong career counseling, and I think it's just getting stronger as well, because I did do a presentation in the Nice campus about 2 weeks ago, and I was talking to the professor on how, what are they doing for the students now that I don't have anymore. And I think they're really doing a lot of interesting things. For example, let's say that you were planning to do something in finance, but then you decide to go to marketing. I do know that there is an online platform where different students from EDHEC, they actually can write down all the interview questions that they got asked from a company. They have a lot of documentation that they want the students to start adding from their experience, so other students can also access this and ask questions on that. And I think these are the small things that they're doing that's actually improving. They want to be a community of people helping each other, and I really like that, because we do not have this. And definitely, if I talk about the Lille campus, There was Florence da Costa. I don't know if the two of you know her. She's fantastic. She's just fantastic. She's always there to listen to you. She has a huge network and she's always there to help. So they listen a lot. They're always there to guide you. And what's nice is because when you're on the other side now, I do get the career counselors contacting me to talk to some students that are looking for their next jobs as well. So so the helping is happening on the other side. So there is a lot happening on career counseling. And I think it's quite open. You don't need to like me, I never felt stressed to go and have a chat with them. They always wanted to listen and do their best to help. So this was never I would say it was never something that I questioned at all. Yeah.
Great.
I don't know if Lorenzo has something to add.
Of course, Lorenzo, if you have anything to add on this.
Oh, yes. So I will not talk about the counseling per se because I think Siddharth already said talked enough about this. I can confirm also for finance it's the same. But I want to add that the issue of not being sure at the beginning of what will be your career path, I think it's quite normal. It was my case. I arrived. I was not quite sure about what path my career would have taken, and I have received help from the student council, of course, but also I think something that you should never underestimate is the fact that when you when you are enrolled in a business school, such as EDHEC, you don't only you cannot exploit, you can exploit also other resources other than the counselor or this kind of people that indeed help you. It's the network of people, as we mentioned before, that are already employed in the companies in which maybe you will have interviews and in which maybe you are interested. And since there is already a strong network, one thing that I advise you is to contact those people directly, and they can also help you to understand if this is the right path for you.
Many thanks. Shifting a little bit, Simona, they're asking about academic rigor and workload. So we're here to talk, of course, about all the experience and opportunities, but also is like how it is hard, like how's the workload, how you managed, or anything that you can add to this.
Yeah, of course. So I think the first year has a higher workload than the second year. And that's helpful because in the second year, you're also looking for a full-time position. So this gives you a bit more, let's say, space to dedicate to that as well. There are lots of courses. So I would say it's rather on the intense side, even though you are in Nice, you're not, like for finance, you're not on holiday. But at the same time, I think the key is to keep the pace. So not leave everything for the week in between, like end of classes and exams, because the time won't be enough. Exams are quite concentrated within a week or so. So you don't have the time in between exams to study. Because, for instance, I remember having 4 exams in 5 days. So you need to be prepared. So my suggestion is that if you make a plan and start like only just organizing your notes, like going through them from day 1 of class, then you'll be fine. But don't leave everything for the last minute.
Many thanks. So we mentioned about career service, but maybe Lorenzo, you can also give us some sort of overview about the International Student Office. We receive lots of questions about, moving to a different country, so it might also require some support in terms of like accommodation and rest. Can you tell us a little bit more? How was your experience, or maybe just in general?
So first thing first, it's like it was when I arrived, and also Simona, because also Simona was there when we met, I think, at the an event organized by the International Student Office. So was something that can give you immediately is to let you meet the other people that are in the same situation as you are, which is something very important because, of course, we arrived there without knowing anybody. and at least that was my case. And with having the opportunity to immediately from day one, actually 1 week before the start of the classes, or even day -7, to meet other people that are in the same situation, it's already something important. Other than that, in the first week, I don't remember exactly. I think it was in the first week, they organized some other welcoming activities that helped us to open, for example, a bank account. That is something that in France I found out is very important to have a French bank account, and to other uh, bureaucratic issues. And in general, they are always, I think, they are always there to help you in moving to a new country, which for some people and for some countries may be more difficult than for others, and will help you to immediately meet other people. So it's quite good, I think.
Speaking about workload, I wanted to ask Siddhant, in terms of like classes, was the typical professor at the deck? What was your experience? What sort of like classes or workshop you had the privilege to attend?
Yeah, so what I can say is like it depends on the courses, but I would say that EDHEC does focus a lot on teamwork. Like you're doing a lot of group works and assignments with groups, so it really helps you to also learn how to work in a team, how to take the lead. You work a lot in your presentation skills as well. The courses, like if you're talking about a standard class, yes, you will have the professor that will I will teach you a topic, and then everyone takes their notes, and you can always ask questions. That's like a normal classroom setup that we have as well. And it's normally followed by some kind of assignment that you would do with 2 or 3 different people, or 4 or 5 different people, and that would eventually lead to like a presentation or something like that. So I would say that the courses are, I would say, heavily focused on assignments and team assignments, to be a bit more specific. And then most of the courses are to finally do your final exams, like as Simona shared as well. What could be helpful would be, like I would say, to organize, because there are a lot of courses and there's a lot of things that can come in between. You might have an assignment at the end of this day for this course, and then something else comes in, and then you have probably an interview for an internship. And so just being able to organize that could help a lot, because I remember for me there was like, it took a while, which is normal because you're getting, everything's coming at you, but with time, everything's all right. So yeah.
A quick question. So Simona, and you mentioned you lived in Nice, right? So the main campus was Nice, right? And for you, Siddhant and Lorenzo was the same?
I was in Nice, yes.
So me, I did Lille and Nice. So the big campus is in Lille. It's a very beautiful campus.
Yes, I was about to ask, can you just describe us a little bit how is the campus like, what it's like, and
Maybe I can talk about the Lille, and I leave Simona and Lorenzo for Nice. Lille campus is huge. It's in a very, it's a bit far from the main city. It's about, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes away from Lille, which is really nice. They have a huge garden, lot of club culture. You can always feel the club culture in the Lille campus. The classrooms are really nice. The building is also beautifully done. And there's a lot of opportunity to do sports. So if you're somebody that likes to go, like to do some swimming, likes to do to dance, there's a lot of stuff happening in the campus, in the Lille campus specifically, that really makes it lively. And if you are somebody that's deciding to live on campus, I think it's a fun place to be, because you're really neighbors with a lot of different students, and it's super cool. I think it's super cool. It was super nice. And your weekends could be going to Lille, tasting the Lille food, checking out the Lille vibes, and it's like 45 minutes away from Belgium, so you can just take mini holidays by bus and stuff like that. No, I think the Lille campus was super, super nice, and fun place to be.
Lorenzo, Simona, anything about Nice?
Oh, well, uh, first of all, as you can see in Mark's picture, it's beautiful. So the city per se, it's beautiful. So I would no offense for Lille, but I think the city is incredible, and I miss it every day from Paris. It's not
And the
quite.
weather is probably
Yes,
nicer.
exactly. I was going to say it's not quite the same, especially related to the weather. Uh, and it's close to Italy, which is a beautiful country to visit, indeed. Uh, the campus per se, I think it's not as big as the one in Lille, which I saw during my graduation ceremony. I was quite impressed, but it's still I think it has all the tools that are required for a business campus. The city is the really interesting thing because it's an incredible incredible weather, incredible uh, things to see, to visit. So I would totally recommend it. I don't know if Simona can confirm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Before moving into the admission requirements, because somebody was asking, and yes, we're going to cover this in a minute. We had a couple of questions regarding internship. So maybe Simona, if you can just tell us really few words about how actually that can help you with the internship. Is a career center or somebody that supports you in this is actually the students that look for the internship, him or herself?
Yeah, so as mentioned, EDHEC has a very large network, but in the end, as we said, it's you making the difference. So you can leverage on everything that EDHEC offers you, but then you have to take the responsibility also for landing your dream job or your dream internship. So as I already mentioned, you have a portal with many internships that are available, but at the same time, you can also look online for other opportunities, so you don't have to stick only to the website provided by EDHEC. But what you can do is that even if you find an interesting opportunity online, you can ask the Career Center for help, and they help with your CV, motivation letter, mock interviews. But always remember that, let's say, you have to throw the first punch. So you have to look for what you're aiming at. And that applies both for first year internships as well as like final end of studies internships.
Perfect. Well, I think, Mark, now we can go a little bit through the admission requirements and scholarships, and as few people were asking. But I wanted to thank our alumni because it was great to hear your experience and also for all the great questions that we received. Just a quick note, the session is recorded and we're going to share with you all the recording of the session. So in case you missed some part, and also they're going to be a follow-up email with some key details. So hopefully we answered a lot of questions, but in case you have something that you still want to investigate more, absolutely. As you can see in here, the team is very much approachable. So definitely reach out to them in case you want any further information. Mark, I'll leave you the floor to talk about a little bit about admission requirements and scholarships.
Thank you to everyone. I learned a lot in that session, which is always a sign of a really valuable discussion. So next slide, please, Federica. So I'm going to try my best to summarize our admission requirement with the big caveat that they do vary per program. So do check online or with your recruitment manager if you're in touch with our team already with regards to your specific program. But in general, this is what you need for admission to our programs, and you would need all of these things ready by the time that you apply. So you would need your motivation letters and your transcripts and your English language tests completed by the time you complete your application to us. You can start your application without all of these, but you won't be assessed until you have them. What I would say, though, is because many of you may be studying for your bachelor's at the moment, that is where there's a slight exception in that if you haven't yet completed your bachelor's, you would be offered you would receive an offer conditional on your graduation. So you can obviously send your final transcripts and certificates later once you've completed it. The other thing to mention is around the GMAT or the GRE or the TAJMAJ test. For our MIM programs, our Masters in Management programs, from which our alumni graduated, for entry into those, you do need to have taken one of those tests before you finalize your application. So we don't offer conditional offers based on taking one of these tests at a later date. So that is something to bear in mind in terms of your preparation. For our 1-year MSc programs, for our master's programs, you do need one of these tests. They're optional. If you have taken one and you've got a good score, then it can lend weight to your application. But what I would say is common to every single program at EDHEC. There is not one single thing that is the most important. We look at your application holistically. And so, if you're strong in one area, that could compensate potentially for weakness in another. So maybe if your GPA is a little bit lower, then a very strong GMAT or GRE score could compensate for that. Also very important to have career goals that are aligned with the program that you've chosen. To generalize somewhat, if you already have relevant studies and at least a first experience relevant to your program of choice, then you could be admitted to straight into one of our 1-year MSc programs. So maybe you've already done a marketing internship, then you could be eligible for the MSc in marketing management. However, if you are looking to shift into a different area, or you don't have that work experience yet, as our alumni have been describing, then a great option for you could be the MIM programs, the Masters in Management, which give you a foundation in business or a foundation in finance or data, and then the opportunity to try out the market and gain some experience and potentially go on exchanges as well in that year 2. And then do one of our MSc programs as a specialist in the final year. So trying to generalize somewhat. Hopefully I've done a good enough job, but please check the website. Next slide, please, Frederica. In terms of the application process, here we're talking about entry into our programs that start in September 2025. You submit your online application. There's then an online recorded interview for most of our programs. There are a couple of our MSc programs where there's a live interview with the program director. And then after that, you get your result within a couple of weeks. And then also to say if you're offered a place, you have 2 weeks to pay the deposit. So that's something to bear in mind to start thinking about your financing before you go through this process. The other thing, because of the time of year we're in, that I really wanted to stress is while we have those admissions deadlines that you see there on screen, some of our programs will close for a 2025 admission in advance of those dates. So, for example, we are, for our MSc finance programs, many of them are either closed or close to being full. So if you're looking at any of those, please apply as soon as possible. We do still have places on the MIM programs that our alumni were talking about this evening. But again, even then, I would encourage you to apply as soon as you're able and you have all of those documents and test scores. Because even if we have places available, our scholarship money may be lower towards the end of the cycle. So if that's something that's important to you, then again, there's an advantage applying earlier. If you're looking for September 2026 entry, then we open for applications in September of this year, and you still have plenty of time. I'd already talked about scholarships, but the key thing to say here is there's not a separate scholarship application process. Everyone who applies is automatically considered for scholarship of up to 50%, and you receive your scholarship decision at the same time as your admissions decision. And yes, please apply online if you're interested, and we look forward to receiving your applications. And one last thing I wanted to say is my job title is Head of International Recruitment. So I think that what that tells you is EDHEC is very much excited to receive good applications from outside of France. And that's the reason that my team exists, is to actively find the best candidates from around the world, so that when you come to study at EDHEC, you're studying again, not just alongside French students but from students from, well, probably 30, 40, 50 different countries around the world. So thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mark, for this presentation. It was very useful. So as you can see, there is still time to put your application through. So make sure that, you have all your documents ready. And just before closing, I wanted to thank our panelists. I want to thank Mark, Simona, Lorenzo, Siddhant. And maybe I wanted to ask you guys if there is anything else that you want to share with the audience tonight. Simona, start with you.
Thank you. So first, it was great, let's say, this sort of interaction. And if you have any other questions, feel free to connect me on LinkedIn. I remain available. And my tip for closing would be just to, let's say, take advantage and be the first to be on board. If it is a group project, if it is a student club, if it is the career center, whatever opportunity you have, usually you have it once. So live it to the fullest and also take advantage of whatever EDHEC offers you.
Many thanks. Lorenzo?
Yes, I would also like to thank you all for being present here. And I would like to I have a small tip for all of you, is just to never underestimate the importance of having and building a strong human relationship with other people, independently from the school you will choose. I hope it will be EDHEC. EDHEC, but many schools maybe, but EDHEC in particular, will give you the possibility to meet incredible people that can help you a lot for your career, that can help you a lot for every aspect of your life. So I would not underestimate this issue if I were you.
Thank you. Siddhant?
Thank you so much for all the questions, guys. It was super fun from my side to be a part of the panel. So thank you, Federica, for making this happen. If I would say one mantra that I would like to share with all of you, it would be to seek discomfort. You're making a choice to leave your homes, go to a new place. And I think learning comes from doing stuff you have never done before. That is when you're actually learning something. So have the chance to be able to seek discomfort, to put yourself in places you've never been, and just absorb everything, because that is what experience is, and that is, I would say, the best part of life. So seek discomfort, and I think the rest, everyone has already shared really good tips. Yeah.
You all did a great job. I really wanted to thank Mark for the overview, but also for answering some of the questions that you received in chat. I wanted to thank all the alumni because the idea of this webinar was really to give you a real overview of what it's like to study the EDHEC, and I think they did a very good job. As you can see, the team is very much approachable. So any sort of question that you might have from today onwards, feel free to reach out. And as you can see, there are a lot of opportunities that EDHEC can actually lead you to. And we really want you to take advantages of all of these, even just informing yourself, like try to find out if it could be the best fit for you and the best choice. It won't be all the time easy, as the alumni were mentioning. Of course, you need to put a lot of effort, but as you can see, there are a lot of great results. And all of this is also happening because of the support of a great business school. And this is what we wanted to show you all. So really, thank you so much. Really hope that all of you get to see the same landscape in real that Mark has on his background, if he's on this campus or any other campus at the EDHEC. And we look forward to seeing you soon at the next live event. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.